from Mill City Boxing, home of the high level pro boxing media, the Fighters and Trainers channel, and most importantly, the People's channel. And we have here the one and only former welterweight champion, Keith one time Thurman. I see I can see that you got something going on over there. What's the smoke?
It's just I'm in my meditation room, man. It's one of the quietest places in the house with three kids and a wife and family and stuff. So yeah, we just in here. I was meditating before, anyways, and then I realized that I tapped in late, and I just try to rendezvous this with you so we can knock it out today because I gotta go to a beautiful district called Pokhara tomorrow with the family. They got a nice lake, so it's called Lakeside Pokhara. And yeah, man, it's a beautiful vacation, man. After 9 years, I'm finally back out here in Kathmandu, Nepal, and enjoying life. Mhm.
That's amazing. That's amazing. When you take up, what's the biggest takeaway of that experience?
Just culture, family. People are just really family orientated out here. My wife's family, um, only the my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they got their visas. They spent time when I popped my bicep tendon. Um, they spent 6 months in the US helping us out with the kids and everything. And then her mother came again before the baby boy was born and stayed for a little over 5 months. So when it was time for her to fly back, we all just came back with her, and we just doing a lot of family time, man. My daughter loves it out here. She had her birthday out here. She turned 5, and yeah, man, just playing with kids, pretending like she can speak Nepalese. She knows she can't, but she be pretending, man. So it's cute. It's cute, and it's a lot of fun. And people speak good English out here, so like, there's not a lot of language barriers and everything. Only like the older generation might struggle with English, but the government makes the young people do all their schoolwork in English because when it's time for college, they're trying to go to UK, Australia, US, Canada, just to provide and make better lives for themselves. That next generation can provide for the family back here. So they got an interesting system out here, but it's good if you speak English. So we good.
Nice. That's nice to hear. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I wanted to start the interview with the this mural that you put up on. Is this in your hometown?
22nd Street, 9th Avenue South, man, St. Yeah, Petersburg, that one. Florida. Beautiful weather, man. You already know, man. I had to That's come out St. here Pete, man. I mean, South that's where I've been and for had to see a long time, man. I was raised face to face, on the wall, face to face, baby. Man. It's really inspiring to know that you've done big things, great things in your city, and that it's come back, and that they honor it, man. I'm gonna give the love where the love is being given back. This is my man Freeman. Uh, Hey man, good work, man. Appreciate Yes, this, sir. Man. Appreciate this, man. You don't know how much this just made me feel good, man. From everything that we've done, just grinding. You know the story better than I thought you did, baby. Going back in Clearwater and
So
everything.
yeah, talk about that moment. I mean, that's also dope. I mean, I put it on my YouTube channel, and it really got a lot of people's eyes looking at it. Everyone believes that you deserve that.
Yeah, man. It's beautiful because when you're really put in that work and when you're grinding, you're locked in. Your vision is just here. And what I love about life is we just don't really understand the impact that we make in other people's lives or the impact that we make in our communities. And so it was just really amazing to see that happen, to be there in person. I knew I was going to be getting out of town. He done finished the mural. The whole thing's complete now. It looks dope. I'll probably do another walk by and a post when I get back into Florida. But yeah, he goes way back. He like dated my childhood friend's sister and everything. Like he was like the young one in the family. He had a lot of older sisters and older brothers and stuff. So like he was like, oh yeah, I know the Browns, and this and that. So he was telling me certain things. I'm like, oh, So we really uh pretty much crossed paths like a long time ago. He was letting me understand that. And he was in the boxing community back in the day. He knew who Ben Getty was, like for real. And it was just great to chop it up. So he just got a deeper respect for, what Winky did out here, what I've done out there and just putting on for the city. And so it was beautiful, man. Like I said, that ripple effect, touching lives, impacting people, impacting the community, and ultimately inspiring people, man. And that's what I love, man. I love boxing for those reasons. I've got many stories of people who, lives have changed and just got motivated to get back in shape or back in the gym or just whatever, man. So just I love boxing. I love talking, and motivating people and making change out there, man, making that ripple happen.
No, that's awesome to hear, man. So, talk to me. I mean, the last time we seen you was what, March 27th, 26th, around that date. Um, you got to watch the fight. It's been such a long time back in the ring. I remember getting stopped in the sixth round and you having, some words to say about that stoppage due to the fact that the referee decided to wave it off. Um, Bring us back to that moment, Keith.
Just a whack moment, bro. I mean, you know, it felt pretty amateur, bro. Like we're world level fighters, man. We gladiators. Y'all saw what they let Tim Zoo do, just blood down his face, blood dripping down his face and everything. I fought Robert the Ghost Guerrero with a hematoma, you know. We had a headbutt in round three. I fought 9 rounds with a hematoma. He's like, you have a hematoma in your eye and stuff. Like, bro, all that's superficial, all that's going to heal in time. Like, this is a moment, this is a historic moment. And like, I heard people standing up on their feet. I knew the crowd was like getting all into it. And like, the moment was getting real. And like, to me, we knew he was a volume puncher, and he was putting them hands out there, putting them hands out there, and I already committed to myself. We're going to take these blows, we're going to take this onslaught, and we're going to patiently wait. We're going to grind this out. And I just really couldn't execute my plan. Maybe a little bit more offense would have kept the referee off of me, I guess. I know I wasn't winning in the round system at the time. So maybe his concern was like, hey man, he's pretty much down in the points. He's not looking good. The onslaught is there, but like, historically in boxing, when have you seen someone stop a fight in the center of the ring, right? When someone is circling, right? Like when they're on the ropes and they can't get off the ropes. I understand that. I got off the ropes, and it took a few more steps and a few more combos I had to block before I got out of his reach, because he already got reach. Then homie reaching with his reach. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, it was a different challenge. My pace was slower than I wanted it to be. The cut threw me off. I've never been cut like that in my whole fight career. So that brought up some anxiety, in the moment, right? If you in the trenches, and something happens, and you you go to reload and you drop the clip, it's like, what am I supposed to do? All of a sudden, like, I just, I just really, I had to let the nerves calm down. And unfortunately for me, as soon as I proved to myself that you can use your defense, like, what's the purpose of having a guard? Right? What's the purpose of having a guard if I'm going to be guarded and every time he hits me, you're going to give him full credit? You know, like, I could tell he was trying to stop me, right? But I posted the video, bro. He didn't land one punch. I posted it. He didn't land one punch. Okay. So you're trying to stop me. I feel that, but you're nowhere near stopping me. And then you let him stop me. You know what I mean? So like he deserves zero credit right now, and you go ahead and give him extra credit. You know, I've never been stopped, and to stop a fight before this fighter has been dropped, where is the signal that this fight needs to be stopped? Needs. Because that's the thing about the ref. When the ref, we're at a certain level in boxing, right? No standing eight count. There's no standing eight count, right? And there's no three knockdown rule. Some people don't understand the significance of those two sentences and what they mean. What that means is that there's another level below championship boxing. And in that level, these rules may be valid. There might be a three knockdown rule that ends a fight, and there might be the ability that the referee can jump in and legally issue a standing eight count without a knockdown. Okay. So I mean, this is boxing, but it's boxing, it's sports, umpires, referees, judges, they all play a factor into this sports industry, you know, and there's not much to do when it's like a judge with a gavel, and right when that verdict is struck, when he steps in and there's no standing eight count rule, he only has one motion, and that's to wave the whole fight off, man. Looking back at it, there was another concern of mine which I didn't wasn't really aware of it at the time, but you know I don't know if there's a lot to put onto that judge on that night,
Talk
the
to me,
ref
Blair.
on that ref on that night, or if it was the female doctor in his ear. You know, there was a female doctor ringside. She was the head female doctor. She's the one who came in the ring to look at me and this and that. You know what I'm saying? But what hurt me the most is we with the referees, they visit us backstage before the fight, right? We have this. Um,
Get the
they
rules
talk
talking.
to us. They talk to the trainer. They talk to us, right? And he looked me dead in my eyes and said, "I stop the fight if I see X, Y, and Z." And one of the things he said, as long as you are moving, if I see your legs are good, you know, I'll let you go. I'm doing my thing with my legs, and you run in like a linebacker to stop this fight. I mean, I didn't like drop me, drop me once, and then just go boop, 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 and say, "Look, man, that's enough. That's enough." But without a single knockdown to call off the whole show, I mean, you see where I'm at, man. I already done meditated it all out. I'm de-stressed, bro. I hit the whatever button, the big F it button. 6 rounds, cool. Pay me, let me heal up. I'm out. Me and family, we on vacation, baby. And I was trying to get back in the gym this week. My suspension has been fulfilled 45 days post fight, whatever, whatever.
See
I'm
that.
ready to get I'm ready to get back into the gym. But this week, wifey wants to go hit up the lakeside city. So we're gonna be over there for 4 days. We're gonna come back to Kathmandu. I have a great friend, Max Busnet. He has Max Boxing, Max Promotions out here in Kathmandu. I've already supported one of their professional fights. um, I did a training seminar with his amateur kids, about 35 kids or whatnot. So that was a really fun day. All different age groups, a few females. And I'm going to give back more to the kids while I'm here. And I'm going to give back to some of the professionals in honor of me. My buddy Max is putting together a show. I think it's going to be a pro am show,
Mm.
and they're going to throw that down July 4th, ironic date. The 4th of July out here in Kathmandu. They're gonna put on that boxing show, and of course, I'm gonna be a special guest, maybe handing out medals to the kids or trophies or something of that nature. But yeah, I just really look forward to working, getting back into the gym. I feel like I lost my ice cream weight, my Ben and Jerry's. You know what I'm saying? Been out here kind of eating clean out here in a different country with all the clean food and not all those preservatives. Just good home eating and a basic diet. So I feel like I'm not bloated, but I know if I hit the gym and everything, if I could lose, 8 to 10 more pounds before I hit the States, then as soon as I get back on land, I'm gonna be looking to make some phone calls and see what kind of negotiations we can get into for later this year.
You know, tell me, who's Keith Thurman now after that loss? I mean, is Keith Thurman at 54, or is Keith Thurman thinking about going down to 47?
Yeah, it's a good question. I still think there are some good fights at 54, but for me, that's a that's right now it's a coin toss. I'm in the 50-50 boat. It's really first come first serve, baby. Send me the contract and I'm not going to double think. I'm not going to double blink. I'm not going to double think. So if I can land a contract at 54, if I can land a contract at 47. But the most important thing is, like I said, to lose about 8 to 10 more pounds before I touch land in the US. And then depending on our projection date, you know I'll be able to see, if we have that potential to get back to 147. Why I'm flirting with this scenario happens to be because of what happened at weigh-ins. I weighed like 152, 152 point something. I did a pull, and I pulled a little too much. I pulled a little bit unnecessary extensive water weight off, and but it showed me, if I'm 152, I could be like, you give me another 7 to 10 days and I'm 147, on that strict diet. If we just lock it in and continue to just grind out on that strict nutritional diet, then I would have been out there 147, and I wasn't really flirting with those numbers in my head until that day, until I saw 152. A lot of people don't know the significance of 152 for Keith Thurman. 152 was my amateur weight class. Okay. 152 is where me and Boo Boo Andrade fought in the Olympic trials. Because that year, with the kilo system and the international weights, blah, 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 they didn't have 147. They had 141 and 152. So I competed at 152. And then I turned pro at 152, and I slowly worked my way to 147 to be a welterweight champion, like I always envisioned that highlight weight class, with Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Ray Leonard, and the history of the welterweight division. So, but we'll see, man. I like if I could have a projection on getting back into a world title shot at 54 sometime next year, then that would entice me. I still like, just some potential fights. There's other champions out there. I would like another run at it. But 147, I think there's a lot of fun fights, so it's it's really just what we can do, what ranking system we can get in, and what exciting big fight could we make next. If it's at 54, it's at 54. But I'm gonna be flirting with the idea to drop back down to 147.
Who do you think is, just being in there with Sebastian Fundora? Obviously, it's an obstacle, right? You had, Michael Fox preparing for him, but in this fight, was there something that you looked at? It was like a lot more something harder to solve. I mean, you when you talk about, all right, you feel like it should have not been stopped. But looking at the film, how did you grade yourself even before that? Do you feel like there was another thing that you could adjusted to be able to look different coming into that fight?
I ain't even studied the film yet, man. I lived it. Um, I just it, the whole show got cut short, man. I didn't get to change up the game. One of the strong suits of my boxing style is adaptability, my ability to adapt in the ring, and that's what I'm saying. Like I was just guarded, you know, and I was taking them, but I wasn't really taking them. Like, what's the purpose of defense? If defense negates offense, and he's an offensive fighter, you know. And I finally calmed my nerves down because there's a little bit of, like I said, anxiety, right? This is already split. So
Mm.
one more good punch and it can split more, right? I understand the concern, but that's when I was like, look, man, you're going to stick to fundamentals. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I would have liked to see, 6 more minutes, because everything, I was just getting to a point to where it's time to throw a curveball, you know? And I think he was opening up, trying to get me out of there. And the referee let him do it. And he was not nowhere near actually getting me out of there. I was fully in there, you know. I mean, that's what dogs do. Um, so yeah, it's just 6 rounds, man. I mean, it just was just a little too, they pulled the plug, man. It's like when you staying up late as a kid and mama done told you to go to bed, you know what I'm saying? And you just still in front of the TV and she's like, this boy ain't listening. Boom, and they pull the plug on you, man. I mean, you know me and how I hype fights up and what I do, man. And you know, there was an excitement, there was an excitement. I'm like Evil Knievel, man. There was an excitement in that room. There was electricity and all the energy, my meditation and stuff, all the vibes that were coming in, and I'm in the fire. He's the inferno. I'm in the fire. I ain't saying it's not hot, baby. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, let it burn. Let it burn, let it burn. We cooking. He trying to well roast me. You know what I'm saying? Let me get roasted. If it's that's the day, that's the day. But I was trying to wait for that one time, that that opportunity, that big mistake. He was open. There were things, but I was slow to get the wheels going, and apparently it was too slow to make a statement, whatever, to get credit from the ref. He just thought, he said he's protecting me from me. Like, bro, you's not my mama. Okay. What you protected me from me for? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is boxing. So it's unfortunate, man. I've never been stopped. And I don't feel like I was stopped. I feel like they stopped it. Somebody else who's not Fundora and not me stop the fight. You know, let him drop me, let him stop me, let him rock me and put me on the ropes and take some hell marys. I think there was some punch. I forget what it was, but there was the punch that knocked me into the ropes initially. It hit me on the shoulder, and I was thinking I think it was that punch that made the ref think that maybe I was rocked, you know? So I think there was just I call it the play and display, Like sometimes it only matters how things appear, right? We go to a magic show, we know they're all tricks, but it appears to be really magical. And we love that. We love that. From children to adults. Everybody loves a great magic show. It's the way things appear to be. And every once in a while in the ring, it can appear a certain way to people, you know. Um, yeah, so it is what it is, man. It's boxing. I still love it, and I'm happy to do more. I see a comment down there. People want to see Charlo Thurman. You know, that might be an easy one for PBC. So I gotta see, man. I'm really not. racking my brain cells on what's next. Besides the fact that there will be something. I'm gonna be coming back and make something happen for the fans. And yeah, I'm leaning. It's 60-40. I'm still here at 54. I'm still, probably just ranked somewhere at 54. And to have to go back down to 47, I have to jump back in the ranks. I think with one good fight at 54, I can be back at the top, and different avenues, maybe contending for one of the other world titles. So let's just see, man. But yeah, 2026, I'd like one more shot at a world title, any division.
I like the way you answered that, and to add to it, because like you said, this the Charlo, just like in the comments, like you said, easy fight. PBC got some of the top 54 pounders. So I can understand why you like, damn, 54. It makes sense, my promotional company, but maybe my body says I could still do 47. I mean, look at you got here in the comments here. Candy Slim, thank you for the 5 piece. Can Keith go back to 147 to become champ again? It's like they feel that 47 is your awakening.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they wanted me, without like, without handing me the slip. They were like, it'd be nice, like just go to 54. I was supposed to go to 54 for Tim Zook, right? That was the first fight proposal I ever got at 54, right?
Right.
And so before that, man, we were cooking up the Stanley Onis fight. I was waiting. I mean, they were slowly cooking it up, but let's be real, like Stanley Onis versus Tim Zoo, you know me. I like that. I like that banner, you know. That's why, like, I don't got no problem with Thurman versus Charlie. You know what I mean? I like that banner. I like that thing that makes you happy.
Yeah.
That makes you happy. That makes people excited. I've done so much in my career. What am I to do, Thurman versus a C? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. They can be a B, but they can be just a C level name. You know what I'm saying? Like if they don't have enough of a name, you know, it just doesn't pull people in. I'll pull you in once I get on the mic. Once I get back on the Thurman show, I'll find a way to pull you in. I'll rope you in. I'll hooker and sinker. I'll reel you in, you know. But at the end of the day, it's nice when sometimes the fight speaks for itself. This is a good matchup, because it's not just Thurman talking, right? It's everyone else on the outside. You'd be saying it, the other analytical team, and anybody else who's about the promotion, they have to hype it up. But it's nice when the hype is natural. It's
Right.
nice when it's more organic
Hmm.
and it's not forced, like, and
It
oh,
sells
this is
itself.
it pretty much sells itself. I mean, it's just something that everybody can agree on. Like, oh, we see this. We see why they move these pieces. We see why they made that play. You
Hmm.
know, and we like it. I agree with it. I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I really wanted this, but I'll accept that. It's like, it's anything like that. It just feels better, man. So let's see, man. I know Charlo's been angry at the world. I know he's been I know he's been saying a lot, man, so I'm not mad at nobody, man. I can care less, man. I love this game. I love what I've achieved. And I really would just, like to get back doing it right. Unfortunately, like I said, my start was slow. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do to have a better camp. And ultimately, the most important thing on my mindset is have a better performance. From start to finish, just have a better performance. He really was. He was just bigger than they say, bro. He was bigger. He was taller. He was longer. That jab was annoying. It didn't do nothing, but it's just on you. It's just, he wants to, and then he pulled, they had extra time. I'm not doing nothing with my extra time. I don't need to sugarcoat nothing. I ain't do nothing with my extra time. I felt like they did some game planning, and he's really trying to get better. And I respect anybody who's trying to get better in boxing, because that's one of the number one faults of all champions is the day they stop getting better, where they think what they got is enough. We saw it happen to Adrian Broner. He was this superstar. He thought he had it all. Maidana showed the world something different, right?
Right.
So when you think that you just got it and you're not trying to grow, so I respect all champions. Like when Canelo lost to Floyd, and then he wanted to get better. He wanted to move a little different and put in some work on the counter shots and just small little elements to the game. So Fundora, he was getting used to sticking that jab out, but now he said, okay, you should step back on Thurman. Boom, you should step back. And he was like trying to do the step back left uppercut. Small little things, I was like, all right, so now he's making me adjust to his adjustment. And there was a reason why in that moment, like you said, it, sparring partners don't fight like the fighter, they don't, So just me having to deal with him, it was a slow turning. But every shot that I take, every shot that Thurman takes, I'm like AI up in there, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm downloading information. That boy's punches were medium at best. That's why he ain't ever dropped me. Even with that good punch in the second round, he ain't ever dropped me. I, boom, bounce right back up. You
So the
know,
pop is not
it's
that serious. It wasn't that
I-
serious.
you know that's why he has to bop, 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 bop. There was nothing that really got my legs. Otherwise, how do I bounce right back up when he got a shot that's put, putting me down? I think he's so tall he can kind of like punch down at you, and it kind of like my legging and footing was bad, and even with bad footing, I just whoop, got right back up and kept it moving, and I realized I. I did a big move and I had a big lag and I stood there like a duck and I got countered. Noted. Noted. Did it happen again? Did that counter punch come through again? No. So I was taking in a lot of information, but I guess I was busted. I was taking some damage too, and the ref, he's seen enough. I don't think the fans saw enough. I didn't take enough. But yeah, it's all right, man. I'm healthy. I'm back with my wife and my children. And my daughter, man, my daughter is hilarious, bro. She said, Daddy, it's okay. Next time, you just duck. It's like, "Hey, this next time, Daddy, you just duck. It's just he swing and you duck. Okay, Daddy? I said, all right, baby. Next time, Daddy's gonna duck. So, you know, it is what it is, man. It's boxing. What can I say? Towering Inferno. I went for that world title in a new division. The boy's a monster. But yeah, if I could ever line up something one more time, I might need to rewrite it because I don't like the way that one ended. You can get me, but not like that. So I never really wanted a rematch in my life, but I know I need a that's not an immediate rematch, but if that's something that I can put myself in alignment with a better performance in my next outing in different things, you know, maybe we run that, or maybe we just go do whatever else is out there, baby. It's a big world of boxing, big world of boxing.
100%. And like you were saying earlier, you and your first outing at 154 pounds was supposed to be Tim Zoo. That's why you fought Rock Jarvis, and I think it was no limit promotions, was it?
Yeah, no limit. Yeah,
No limit. Yep. And obviously we see him in a fight with Errol Spence in July. I mean, you tell me. That seems like it could possibly, it seems like if Spence or even if Tim Zoo, the winner or loser of that fight, seems like something that could be possibly in your lane. What do you feel about a fight with the winner or the loser? And in the same time, how do you feel about that matchup per se? How do you feel like it goes down?
yeah. I think a lot of people see it as a 50-50. Both fighters been through a lot. Spence had just too big of a layoff. Nobody. That's the biggest question mark. When your layoff is long, no one's seen you. they don't know what version of you that they're going to get. And of course, they're going to analyze you off of your last performance. Your last performance was not that good, so what version of you are we going to see, but well rested, if you take care of your body, you recover, you get your mental game straight, athletes can make tremendous comebacks, tremendous turnarounds. I've normally looked good on a lot of my layoffs. This is the first time that my performance just really wasn't up to par with past performances. You know, no matter what the layoff was for me and my career. So we just got to see. But Tim Zoo, he's been having some little tune-up fights. He's trying to work with new trainers and enhance his overall ability in the ring as a boxer. So it's gonna be interesting. But we know he's vulnerable. He's been dropped a lot. He's been hit, and he's been stopped. So both of them, have some battle scars, let's say. So for that reason, I think Tim Zoo has the advantage of activity, and then Spence has the advantage of pedigree. Right? He's been at another level. He's achieved more, even though it's at 147. I just feel like he's really done more, been in the ring with more world class fighters, and had some victories against solid world class fighters, where Tim Zoo has not been as victorious when the opposition really hits that A class, So that's the way I break down the fight. I say Tim Zoo staying in motion benefits him, but the pedigree and being an Olympic boxer, just different overall things that favors Spence. But it's a solid 50-50, because they both just have some questions that need answers, and we'll get our answer come July for sure.
I mean, I see that the fights at a catch weight. Do you feel
Oh,
like that?
what? I didn't see that. What's the catch weight?
I believe it's closer to 160, not quite at 160. Um
58, something weird. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like that, possibly favors a fighter?
Tim Zoo. Tim Zoo, because he already from a higher division, when welterweights are adding more weight, a lot of times they're just giving themselves an excuse to be slower, in my opinion, you know, because let's say the fight's at what, 158, right? And then they're gonna rehydrate, right? So he's gonna be 168, 173 by the time he gets in the ring, anyways.
It's actually
You
right
know,
at 158, actually.
yeah. So but you put a solid 10 to 13 pounds on, rehydrating and everything. So and like that's a like from like a welterweight standpoint, that weight should be kind of like, I know our bodies are growing and different things, and at this age and stage of our career, but that pool's not really going to be there. You'll be able to pull down to 158 from, what, like the week of the fight, you can be like almost 165. I mean, not really, but like almost, almost, because yeah, I mean, you can practically pull 5 pounds of water weight in a day, and easily. Uh, so it just depends on the overall strategy. If he just wants to be strong and not worry so much about the pool, we can always assess the body at weigh-ins, right? Like, is he gonna be lifting? Is he gonna be a night? Is he gonna hold that weight? And is he gonna be kind of cut up? Is he really just gonna look bigger and stronger? Then we're gonna be like, hey man, look at his transformation. Look at what he looks like in this division right now, So I always like to assess my body when it's time to step on the scale. And so I'll be looking that I'll be looking at both fighters when it comes to that before the fight. But yeah, man. It's a nice matchup. I like this fight for these two fighters. I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, uh I want Thurman Spence, I want Thurman Zoo. I mean, I was semi, told about these fights for many years. So it is what it is. But when I take myself out of the picture, when I go third person Grand Theft Auto in the world, you know what I'm saying? And I just really sit back and I look at everything. I like this fight for these fighters.
As an
Um,
analyst.
I like this fight for the fans too. I think, it's just where they're both at. It's someone someone is really going to not be that relevant, and someone's going to reestablish their ability of relevancy, you know and that's what I like about this matchup. I think that's what this matchup is really all about. So they both got a lot on the table, because a win here elevates you, and a lose almost makes you, Tim he stays busy, and he'll always be relevant in Australia and things like that. But on the world scene, if he doesn't get a win here, his overall relevancy really diminishes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I heard Robert Garcia, him mentioning, that he feels like, Spence is done, in his career. And then you have, I don't know, did you see the press conference, that matchup that they had there? Do you feel like the fight goes 12?
No, no, no.
No.
I don't really feel like the fight goes 12, but you know, yeah, I don't really think so, man. Because they both can hit hard enough, and if the defense, unless if they spar each other in front of the world in 12 round sparring match. But if they fight each other,
Mm.
ain't no 12 rounds. That's how I look at it.
You think you see a different Spence with the tutelage of Rodney Shields now?
Not sure, man. Because he had such a unique style. He had
Mhm.
such a, like, just his southpaw guard, walking you down with that jab, and then boom, boom. Like, what I would like to see is just going back to the body with Spence. I just think he has some good body shots early on in his career, some good setups. But I don't know. I'd have to go, as the fight gets a little closer. If I watch Mitt work, I'd like to see some more. If he's with Ronnie and stuff, I respect Ronnie. I knew what Ronnie was doing back when I was in the amateurs. So me and Ronnie Shields, we go way back. So I respect Ronnie, what he brings to the table, how he works with fighters. So I would like to see, some of that Mitt work. I remember watching a lot of Ronnie Shields Mitt work, see what he's doing with Spence, see if there's anything that really seems different. I remember when Spence used to be on the bag, he was notorious for, like, this rhythmic double shot, right? This, you know, he, like, I remember, like, a certain rhythm, and so, is that rhythm still there, or has it lost a step?
Mm.
Has it lost a tempo? That's the thing. We're all hitting, um, we're past 35, you know, and so you just never know. There's an old saying in boxing, and they say you get old overnight. And I promise you, I didn't know what they was talking about. I promise. Okay, I didn't know what they was talking about.
Mhm.
But being at this stage of my career, it's like, oh snaps, that's what they talking about. There's a day in life, bro. There's a day in life. It's a day. It ain't like a whole sequence of days. It's just a day in life where you wake up and it ain't what it was before. You
Mm.
know, you can't. This is the great mystery of the phenomena of time.
Mhm.
Okay, back in the science class. All right, just cycles. The universe and seasons of the year, and like, I got three beautiful children, man. I'm in fatherhood, and yeah, there's just a day, man. And for every athlete, it's individual, from football and boxing and the UFC fighters, or, all divisions, heavyweights, and it's all individual. We saw what B Hop did. We all saw what B Hop did. That's why he started calling himself the alien. It just wasn't even natural no more. Fighting young men at that stage and going toe to toe and finessing them and being in the shape that he was in. So it definitely matters how you take care of you. And that's why I want to get back in the gym while I'm out here. Don't want to just um, enjoy the city and enjoy the temples, enjoy the meditations and everything that I'm doing out here. But while I'm out here, I'm going to get back on the grind so that I can really manifest what I want to do later on this year and be successful at it.
Damn, Keith, you really cooked in that breakdown, because I was feeling it with the timings that you was talking about with Spence, and watching his film, of doing the pads, it make you think like you're right. Does he have that movement again? And yeah, you definitely underrated as a analyst as well. I mean, everybody will say it in the chat. um, but in other words, June 27th is also another unification in your division. Now, you got the unified champion Xander Zayas fighting Jerome Boots Ennis in Brooklyn. I mean, tell me, how do you see that fight?
Yeah, I like the fact that Xander Zayas um, has just been able to do what he did, and I know he's got a lot of hype right now. I think he should. I think he should be riding that hype train a little bit longer. And not sure if he's ready for the toughest fight of his career. You know, um, Boots Boots' opposition in his last fight doesn't prepare him fully, for this fight. But Boots is a former champion. And Boots is young and on the grind and has been waiting to make a big statement. And this is that there's always windows and opportunities. You know, I remember when Paulie Malignaggi became world champion at 147, and I was like, who did he just fight? And then boom, he was overseas and he was able to get a title, So not only does he get to fight a champion, but he gets to fight a unified champion. You take out one and you walk away with two, you know. It's just it's timing, but we know what they say about Boots. They say he's the boogeyman, right? That's what they want to say. He's the baddest, he's everything, So having the double strap on you in a elevated division coming from 147, that will fuel the hype train a lot more. But there's heavy hitters, there's some killers, and we've seen him. I love his work rate. I love his training regiments. I just love his dedication, and that's everything it takes to be a champion. So I lean towards him. I believe. I'm a believer. I'm a believer that he can make this happen, because I'm not a full believer of Xander Zayas. Like who he just got this belt off of, I didn't even know that guy. So it's not the same. I'm very big on pedigrees. I'm very big on uh, resumes and things of that nature. And that's the good thing about that fight, that matchup is they, in theory, they might be the best names on each other's resume. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, So that makes it very exciting, and it makes it very rewarding for the winner. Makes it very rewarding, So yeah, that's gonna be a fun night and an interesting fight, and it's gonna, I mean, he wins, he gets to be him, be the him that they say he is. He gets to be the H, the I, the M, the him, you know. And with a loss, then Xander Zayas hype train is gonna get a lot of coals thrown up into it. They're gonna be, that hype train is gonna be lit, you know. But I was looking at him because I'm in the division now, and I think he's a little preemie, a little premature. I think he's there to get got, but that's That's why we got these things called opinions, and it's up to the fighters to show us, what they're really capable of, and that's what fight night's all about. So it'll be a good one.
Do you feel like that fight goes the distance?
Uh, depends, depends. If anyone's stopping anybody, it's Bootsing. You know what I'm saying? Because once he gets you, he smells the blood in the water, and he's like a piranha. He's gonna go for the kill shot. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of Xander Zayas, and the little bit that I've seen, I don't think he's that killer of a striker. You know, I don't. From what I've seen, I didn't see the killer striker, and if he did get certain things, I think he got certain things at a certain level, certain KOs and certain stoppages at a certain level. At this level, it's just a little different, and it helps to actually carry some heavy hands. And it's 54, so I'm not sure. It's 10-ounce gloves. I'm not sure. That could play a factor in the fight going 12 rounds. But what I really think the factor of 12 rounds is going to be is this word called conditioning. Conditioning. If Xander Zayas lacks conditioning, then I haven't seen Boots lack conditioning at this level. So if he lacks conditioning, that's going to open up the door for the pressure to, get put on, and maybe eight, potential seventh, eighth round, ninth round stoppage or something of that nature. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Do you feel like Fundora is the number one guy? Do you feel like possibly the winner of that fight is the number one guy in the division?
Nah, man, I don't play this game. I let y'all play that game. I've been number one, number three, number two, I've been all sorts of numbers in life, and it really doesn't matter. What matters is what matters right now is, are you a successful fighter? You know, and Fundora is that. Fundora is on a win streak. He is successful. That's all that matters. That's why he gave up the belt to begin with. You know, um, and you want the number one guy, all the champions got to fight each other. Then you have the number one guy. There's nothing to, you want to make him number one, make him number one. Um, you feel otherwise, that's your feelings. There are only so many champions, and the champions are the cream of the crop. They are the ones to beat, and they represent success. So whoever the champions are, they are currently the most successful in the division, and you can do your debate from there. I think he deserves it. If I, and after the way I just broke it down, I think Fundora deserves being called the number one guy. Um, but yeah, man, they're just numbers. What really matters is just keep fighting, keep winning, and ultimately putting on great fights for the fans and building your fan base. I think Boots as champion will create more hype than Fundora. I think his style is just something that people admire more than Fundora. But at the same time, that's why, like, it just kind of it doesn't matter. Um, you know when you are at that level, it's like you don't worry about what somebody else got going on their end. And when we're all working hard to achieve what it takes to achieve what champions achieve, then they deserve what they're getting. It doesn't really matter. They deserve what they're getting. And um, I think Fundora can. My number one advice for Fundora is to talk to the fans more, you know, talk to the fans more. And it's not about like being a clown or being, doing all the antics that I do or doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm just having fun at work, people. Okay. This is just me. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, like my number one advice to all these young dudes high in the rankings, seeing themselves being champion of the world one day, man, like you speak your truth, man. You speak your truth. You be you. You be as authentic as you can be for you. And you let the people see you. You know what I mean? If you don't got no beef, bro, if you don't dislike any of these fighters, man, then guess what? Hey, I'm happy to be here. I respect this guy. I respect his trainer. I respect his team. And you can boost your fighters up, bro. Whoever they put in front of you, you can talk to them with respect. You can say I really liked his last fight. That stoppage he had was impressive. Whatever, you can literally just compliment the man. You can talk shit about him all you want to. You know what I'm saying? If that's you, if you come from a different background where like you don't like to you don't ride other people's stuff. You don't give people credit for no reason. You know what I mean? Then don't give people credit, bro. Shoot them down. Shoot them all down. Gun them down. You know what I'm saying? you know I mean, and that's what I mean when I say be you. you know if you're not one to create drama, then don't create drama, but explain to the people why this fight is a good fight, why they need to be watching you. Explain to the people why you appreciate them as much as they appreciate you. Just show love where love is given. You know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't matter. These champions, they already got their personas, their egos, and their bank accounts working. You know what I'm saying? But for these fighters that are in like the top 15, working their way into the top 10, or really at number 10, like I was once upon a time when I first got on the scene, with my first HBO fight and things of that nature, man, you don't have to really overdo nothing, man. But just speak how you want to speak, represent you the way you want to represent you, and let the fans know what you want them to know about you, man. That's why I talk about Ben Getty, man. That's why I talk about the man that believed in the boy before he was a man, before he could be champion. You know, I talk about him, man, because that was 13 years of his life. That was 13 years of my life that I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking to you without no Ben Getty, bro. And I know that. I know that on me, on God, and my mama, you know. And for those reasons, when I say my stories, when I talk about how I came up from my amateur pedigree, from my boxing gyms, from my city, and the different things, man, tell your story, man. We human beings, man. We all got stories. We're booklets, man. We booklets. And whether you on the rise or you already a superstar, life ain't nothing but chapters, baby. It's nothing but chapters. So yeah, man, this is a tough chapter, trying to get back at the top, trying to be back champion again. But I'm happy to be here, man. I'm happy to live this life, man. Grateful, always grateful, So yeah, man. These fighters, man. Thurman can't be the only one. Stop letting me and Timo Fimo Lopez. Me and him, like, there's only like a few of us. Like there's only a few. Deontay used to be wilding back in the day. Like there's only a few. But at the end of the day, you don't gotta be the crazy, the wild, but talk your version of your truth, which ultimately is your ish. Okay. Talk your truth because that is your ish. And just bring the people in, give them a reason to really like you, give them a reason to tune into you, give them a reason to respect you, tell them something they don't really know about you. You know, that's my advice for these young bloods, man.
You talk about this chapter in your life, Keith. What's your hit list if you had it your way?
Uh, Yeah, well, whatever, whatever's clever, and maybe that Josh Kelly kid would have been nice, at
IBF champion.
54. I think they wanted me out at 147 because they don't want me to put no hands on Rolly or or anybody down there. So I would take. I wasn't expecting the fight to get made, but shoot, I might take that. I would take that Conor Ben fight. Like Conor Ben and Ryan. So at 147, that's why I just gotta see, man. Hey, just put me in the game, coach. Get Thurman, put me in where I fit in, baby. I'm like a puzzle piece, you know, but I'm just get me back in the game, put me in where I fit in, and I'll hype that division up. So if it's 54, 47, but there's just like a small part of me I would like to see, like, yo, who, because, ain't no young blood took care of Thurman at 147.
Mm.
Ain't no new buddy, ain't no new somebody took care of Thurman at 147, So I don't know. We got to play with it. We got to see how this weight maintenance is. If my weight maintenance is on point, then my body already showed me you can touch back down at 147, but you have to do it. You have to do it right and not just like sign the contract, lose all this weight, and like you two. Yeah, your body don't need that. I'm 37. I don't need all that. But if in the off season, if my maintenance is right and we see that vision where special weeks out we can make that weight, then you know, then it's doable. I know it's doable, but it's the off season body maintenance. You know, when when I popped my bicep tendon with Tim Zoo,
Yep, yep.
and then there was no talks of no fights, and everything was messed up that summer. Man, my thighs were touching. Man, I was 197.
Mm.
Okay,
Nasty work.
that's a Subway commercial. That's 50 pounds back down to
Mm.
47 people. That's a Subway commercial. I don't know if you even remember the old Subway commercials. I forget what that white boy's name was. He lost 50 pounds at Subway. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I've seen myself, go up and down like a yo-yo, but a little bit of discipline will go a long way in this later stage of my career and my road back to victory and my road back to championship status. And yeah, man, Boots can get it at 54 too with this
Yes.
Xander Zayas and different things, because I just want to be in the rankings and be with a champion in 2020, what, 2026, 2027, next year, whatever, next year. Get a good fight in, get a good win in. If it's Charlo, I'll see it, I'll see it, but I'll see it when I believe it, man. I really don't know what's next for Thurman, but I'm very open minded, and I think we can have a lot of fun in both divisions. So we'll see.
Yeah, you mentioned Charlo. Definitely, he stated that, nobody has beaten him at 54. Obviously his last fight was Canelo Alvarez. So he was the former undisputed champion of the division as well. So obviously that's a big fight right around your part of the
A
street as
big
well.
fight. It's a tough fight. I'm not gonna say it's not a tough fight. These boys are big, man. They big. They bigger than me. I remember just being in New York with Charlos back when I was 147 champion and just standing next to them in our off season. We both out of shape. You know what I'm saying? But they got size on me. But it is what it is. If he can be back down at 154 and we can make a good fight happen for the fans, I'm in there, man. I'm in there.
Yeah, and when you mentioned the 47 division, I mean, obviously your side of the street, Rolly, obviously something easier to be made. But you mentioned the big names, obviously, right? The Connor Benz, the Ryan Garcias. Never mentioned, Devin Haney, a guy that just beat Brian Norman. And a really, so I mean, a lot of people talk about him being the top welterweight today, but why not mentioning Devin Haney?
Oh yeah, I mean, I forget about these lightweights at 147, but yeah, man, like you said, he just beat Brian Norman, bro. Like he just had like one highlight fight from Japan, like you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't stop the dude he dropped the Rigoroo. Like I don't know, man. I'm not a firm believer that he's gonna hold it down at 147 and be him. I just don't see it. But at the same time, he Brian Norman was at least, a real 147 pounder. So I give him that credit where credit's due. I don't mind giving credit where the credit is due. Um, but yeah, man, but yeah, just that's the thing about the welterweight division right now. It's flooded with lightweights, It's flooded. There's an overflow uh, flux of lightweights at 147. So there's no real 147 pounds.
Because of that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't, and what I like about being an OG is like, where's the OGs? Like, I look around and I see me. I'm like, oh, I'm the OG. There ain't no OGs from 147 to 154. Like, you got Charlo, you got me, you got Spence now. But I drop back down to 147. There's no OG in sight, bro. There's no OG in sight. Where's Ugas? Where's Ugas? Where's you know nobody? Nobody at 147. Everybody else is retired. You know, so or moved up. Like, so it would be nice. I think it'd be nice. So hey, man.
You feel like there's a
Well,
place there for you?
October. Who's Devin Haney fighting? Fight Thurman in October, baby. Let's go.
Mm.
Fight Thurman in October. Come on. You your daddy called me a long time ago wanting to fight. I told him you would get beat at 147, then you fought Ryan and got slapped up, his little PED performance. But hey, I don't need PEDs, baby. I'm just a real heavy hitter. I'll give you flashback real quick, you know. I mean, he was scared in there, man. I didn't see that adaptability, the ability to adjust, no adjustments being made, So when I give credit when credit is due, but you say like, oh, this guy was on this guy was on that. What he had going on don't affect what you had going on. You know what I'm saying? So you getting hit and you not being able to pull yourself up out of that, I don't. That's why I don't see him like a Floyd Mayweather, or anytime Floyd got hit, Floyd adjusted right away. Right away. It's like a fly you can't swat twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, he adjusted right away. Zzz, what? I'm still here. Zzz, oh, you ain't hit me again. You know, I know my environment. I know my surroundings. So yeah, man. And maybe 147, I'll be a little bit faster. Maybe I'll be back to where I need to be, man. Maybe I need to just lock in and be that disciplined again, man. So like I said, I love banners. Thurman versus Haney, Thurman versus Charlo. Let me get in where I fit in, baby. Send the contract. Send the contract. You want the name? You want the fame? You want to say that you did something at 147, baby? Let's go. I'm ready. October. Make it happen. Any month this year. Just make it happen. Send me a contract. Send me a proposal. Give me a reason to put on a sweatsuit and make 147 all over again. I'll be happy to do it, man. I'll be happy to do it.
There is no OG at 47, that's for sure. I mean, do you feel like there's a place for Conor Ben at 47? I mean, he hasn't really made it in a while, and there's talks of him and Ryan fighting.
I thought it was locked in. I thought somebody said it was locked in.
Ryan said it on the stream.
He said what?
He said it on the stream, Ryan, and they're going back and forth on social media. I don't know if it's just for promotion, like it's already done, but it's supposedly in September.
Yeah, see? So yeah. I heard about some dates being flown around and different things. So um yeah, I mean, he just fought at a catch weight, you know, and so, as
Jimmy
long
Kimball
as
show. Yeah, he said he pronounced it in the Jimmy Kimball show. That's right.
so yeah, yeah, someone told me about the fight. So, me, I be hearing, unless it just pops up on my Google AI stuff, man. Like, I'm not really on top of the biggest boxing news, but it always finds a way to come in one ear or another. So I heard the fight is going to be happening, and he's definitely gonna lock in, to make 147. I think the easiest way to make it happen is just hiring the right nutritionist, man. The right nutritionist always gets the job done, man. I always did it that way, and it always made my camps, um, just a little bit easier when I worked with high level nutritionists. So they kind of do a lot of thinking for you. You do the physical workout, and as you're losing weight, if you're feeling a little weak, you say, hey man, I might take it light today. They'll say, okay, you burn this many calories, I'll adjust your meal plan and we'll do this and that. So they do a lot of, they do a lot of thinking for you, and they can go with you. You can take it a little lighter one day, get a little bit more of a rest day. Maybe you got some sparring coming up, and you be putting in a lot of two a days, and every day ain't gonna be your best day. You're cutting weight, you're trying to build strength. It's like you're building up, breaking down, building up, breaking down, but you put yourself through the fire, like um when you're working with that gold, and you got to hit it with the hammer, and you got to put it in the fire, and all the impurities come out, so it's a lot of work, but the whole purpose is that that final product is something that you can be proud of, and that you can put to work on fight night.
Yeah, no, 100%. I know you anyway fan, correct?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I was in Tokyo watching that boy before y'all even knew how to spell his name.
I knew you were gonna
Promise.
say that. I knew you were gonna say that. um, it seems like Turkey's trying to make him and Bam. What do you think about that?
Oh, whatever, man. And no way fight's a great fight, man. Just the way
Yeah.
that dude steps into the ring, and what he does, and his offense, defense, and I mean, he's been dropped. He gets up, and like, it just is he no way, baby. Like it's just I was impressed when I first saw him. You didn't even know him. I was already impressed. And he was hitting, he was stomping in that arena in Tokyo, you know. So I just, that's what I love about boxing, man. That's what I love being out here, working with the kids, working with the pros. And my buddy, he put on a show, Nepal versus India, and I went backstage to talk to Indian team. I married a Nepalese woman, and I got a lot of love for Nepalese. But when it comes to the world of boxing, I respect everybody who steps into that ring, the whole world of boxing. So I went backstage to Team India, shook hands, took some photos, motivated them, like just several of their guys already lost that night. They were B-side and everything like that. But like it just is what it is, man. It's a tough life to live, man. I don't even care, bro. You can be 0 and 22, bro. You can be 0 and 22 and Keith Thurman respects you, because I know there's a lot of people that will never step in the ring one time. Not just to put a pun on my name, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of people who will never step into the ring one time. And for that, man, like if you even try to live this life, you just try to live this life, I'm like, it's auto respect for me, bro. Auto respect. I know what this life is, and it's I just admire other people's love for the sport too, man. That's what I told everybody. Why you still fighting this and that, man? The day I don't love boxing, you ain't gonna see me no more. I mean, and as long as I can keep moving and grooving and putting myself in the ring, I'll be in the ring. But if I don't love boxing no more, you ain't even gonna see me no more. I barely watch boxing, but I love boxing. I can talk boxing and different things. If I got a reason to be at a fight, I'll be at a fight. If so if I'm not really fighting, I'm doing analytical work. Like it's gonna be just because I love boxing. But if I don't love boxing no more, I'm gonna be up here in the Himalayan mountains meditating. You ain't even gonna see Thurman, man. I'm a no suit and tie, no no interviews, no nothing. But the love of the sport just keeps me around, man, and you know I'm happy to see boxing all over the world, man. I was fighting Manny Pacquiao, and knowing I have a tremendous amount of Filipino fans, and when I was in Tokyo and different things, I love traveling, and I'm just seeing fans from all over the world, Australia, so this is boxing, man. It's different, it's like soccer, I mean, we are world champions. We're going for the world titles, and it's anybody and everybody's game, bro. Like the next champion of the world can be from any country in the world, man. And that's what I love, man. When the Gypsy King became heavyweight champion, like, you know it is what it is, man. They coming from Russia, Kazakhstan, and like just anywhere, bro. You got the heart and the soul for this sport, and you got the skills that pay the bills, like Floyd used to say, baby. Then the world will see you at the top one day.
Speaking of Floyd, I mean, what do you think about their rematch with him and Manny Pacquiao?
There's stupid articles popping up every day. I, I exhibitions are happening. Like, what fight is happening, bro? Like, bro, I can't even read these. I don't even read the article, but the banner pops up. The head of the clickbait. They be trying to get your man's the
Mhm.
clickbait. You know what I'm saying? Pacquiao done bought Floyd Mayweather's gym. Like all these news, bro. Like it's, it's crazy, man. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. It's crazy, man. Like, are y'all fighting, man? Just fight, please. Just fight. Like, did the venue like did it like is it happening in that like Circle Dome arena? Is it not happening? Is Pacquiao suing Floyd Mayweather? Like, is someone about to get pimp slapped? Like, I don't know what's happening. I promise you, I don't know. Articles are flying left and right every week. I don't know what to believe, what not to believe. It's a headache, bro. I wish it wasn't, bro. They need to clarify. They need to clarify this for the people, bro. Oh, it's a hot mess, man. Floyd done took out loans and I don't know what they saying. This man broke rich. I don't know what they said. He a broke rich. I don't know what they saying out here about Floyd Mayweather these days, man. But yeah, it is what it is, man. You know, I'd like to see Pacquiao. I think it's more. I think there's a lot of people who it would have been nice to see Pacquiao back in the ring sooner after his draw to Mario Barrios.
Mhm.
I don't think he had the right camp. I think he looked decent. And I think if he stayed training long enough, dedicated long enough, hard enough, that he would be able to overperform from that performance, outperform that performance. And yeah, against like who, I don't know, I understand why he wants the Floyd Mayweather fight. He wants to get paid and he doesn't want to be in danger, right? Young dudes, young dudes can be dangerous. He was not the same Pacquiao that I fought. So at the yeah, it's been a while, and Floyd is old. He is old. They fight each other. It's a fair fight, and he might be able to take that O at this stage of their careers, and it would still be a historical moment in boxing. So I don't know, man. I don't know. The world is different, man. Celebrity fights. What popped up on the IG, baby? Ray J and Super Hot. You saw the Ray J and Super Hot. It was
Nasty work.
what
Nasty work.
the stuck. He
Whew.
got stuck like Chuck. He just got, and then he went. It was like a glitch in the matrix, people. If you haven't seen it, you might as well just go see it. It only takes 5 seconds to
For
see the
sure.
highlights. It only takes 5 seconds to watch a live glitch in the matrix.
Mhm.
Ray J getting clipped by Super Hot. Okay. I was like, I didn't even know. I was like, who? I'm like, I know this man. Who in the hell is in the ring right now? And then I finally realized it was Ray J and Super Hot, man. It was wild, man. It was wild. So yeah, man, the world is just spinning. The world just keeps on spinning, and we don't know what's coming next, man. Pretty soon we're gonna be fighting for Bitcoin. I don't know what's coming up. We're gonna be fighting for tokens. I don't know what's coming up next, people. Okay, the world keeps on spinning. You know, it's life, man. It's entertainment. So yeah, man. It's the fight game from boxing to the UFC to the celebrity matchups to the cross matchups, and uh, Jake Paul's probably done, but he can still promote and do different things as long as he wants to. You know,
Canelo still says he's the face of boxing, possibly due to numbers alone.
hey, yeah, I mean, that's just Canelo just been grinding for so long. Look at his record. He's like the Pacquiao of today, right? No one else who really is sitting on a record that's stacked like that. We're not going to see records like that in the future. You know, we're not going to see 60 fights and 50 fights.
Right.
You might not even see a record like Bud Crawford. Probably we're not going to see 45 fights no more. They're gonna get their paper. They're gonna be in and they're gonna be out. They're gonna be 32 should be enough. 32, 36. Like that would be a full career. I think fighters are gonna be done. In the future. I think fighters. I think matchups. I don't think they're gonna build fighters the way that they used to 20-0. I don't think that's gonna happen in the future of boxing. And this is just my uh, crystal ball predictions of the sport, but there's a lot of stuff that's shifting and happening. And of course, this Instagram thing, like if you just got hype, if you got hype and you can fight, you the next superstar. Like the whole platform's about to change, bro. And the whole platform is about to change. I mean, it's already changing on many levels.
Right.
I'm
Especially
shoot.
Turkey Al Sheik and what he's bringing to the table as well.
I mean, if Super Hot wasn't so big, you put that man against I Show Speed, you'll break the internet.
Make yeah, for sure.
You put Super Hot versus I Show Speed, you break the internet. So I mean, it's
It's a
just a
numbers
different
game.
world that we're in, man. It's a different world. It's a different world. I mean, it's different opportunities, man. It's not about right and wrong. It's just about the ways of the universe and the times. This is everybody wanted to know what the future is like. Remember
Yeah.
the 90s. Remember the 90s when we were fantasizing about the 2000s. Remember that, huh? Remember all those days, when PlayStation first hit, when
Yeah.
when PlayStation at first, you had a CD. You could put music and games in the same console. People didn't know what to do. You had these little memory cards and everything, man. Like, come on, man. We was fantasizing about the future. We here, baby. We in the future, and they still holding us back. AI is about to take off and steal everybody's job. We got we're gonna have robots doing our job, doing our interviews, man. You might not even see the real Keith Thurman in the future. I'm gonna get an AI to talk my ish for y'all, man. This your man one time. This is the biggest fight of the year. Yada yada yada, man. We're gonna
Yeah.
program that thing to be fire. Okay, you ain't even gonna see my face no more. Artificial intelligence.
Right. The WBA just ordered Javante Tank Davis and Floyd Schofield to fight. I mean, what do you think about that matchup and his return? I mean, the lightweight's really starting to get better. We just hear that Lomachenko is making his return as well. Because we seen that his return was right after Top Rank's contract was up. So that was quite interesting. So he wants big fights only as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's the world's been waiting for Tank. It's it's very unfortunate what outside of the ring trials and tribulations that brother's been going through. But when it comes to just the entertainment, I look at Tank as you know potentially that next Canelo. So he just has a tremendous opportunity. I don't know I don't know if he even wants it, the way what he's been through and certain things that he said, you know. But maybe, sometimes you don't want nothing, and then all of a sudden, life is very mundane for us gladiators out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me another one of these. Where's it at? Give me like another, give me another one. Can I get a matching one? Can I get what? I want people to be scared when they see my face. Like I don't got no tattoos, people. Like life is mundane. I love my wife, I love my kids, but to not be put in the fire, to not be burning, to not feel the heat and then to not shine under those bright lights, like when you taste that glory, when you taste that sweet, man, I'm telling you, man, it's different. It's different. It's that's what it means to be an entertainer. and only entertainers understand that. Only certain people who've been in front of crowds. There's a lot of successful people. There's people wearing suits and ties, and people wearing just average clothes, Joe Schmoes, that got more money than Tank Davis and everything. It's not always about money and stuff, but it's just it's a it's about that energy, man. If you've really performed on a stage, and I mean, like MC Hammer, like he couldn't stop doing what he was doing and having that entourage and like rocking the way that he was rocking, Floyd being Floyd Mayweather, being as showboaty and needing to fly around with money all the time and show like, bro, you got money. Warren Buffett got money. He's never took a picture with his money. You know what I'm saying? But it's for different strokes for different folks. This is life. We there's so much diversity. And that's another thing that I love about boxing is like you don't know what the next champion brings. Is he humble? Is he flamboyant? You know, is he rude? Is he clever? Is he an intellectual? You just don't know, man. I love the diversity of this game. I love the diversity of the world. And yeah, man. I mean, these divisions, these weight classes, these matchups, these political moves. The WBA is doing this. The WBC, the IBF just said, this is what makes the world go round, man. And it keeps the industry going. But I love the fact that people still love boxing, man, because we have our waves, we have our waves. Everybody, there was a time, man. There was a time. Like if I'm ever in front of Dana White, first thing I want to say is, remember when you used to talk shit about boxing? Remember them days? Do you remember, Dana, when you used to talk shit about boxing? Now you're promoting boxing. Dude, Dana, do you remember, Dana? All that shit you used to talk. Now you on our side of the fence. Now you want to be the Don King, you know? You want to control both industries. So, and I ain't even mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I knew you was spitting lies back when you was saying it. You can't fool people that there was money in boxing, that boxing matters, that boxing has history. You can't take away boxing history just because you got some grown men who put their feet in each other's faces and tackle each other and punch each other on the ground, Dana. You can't take away boxing history with some stinky feet and some ground and pound tactics. Okay? Never could, never would. And that's why you joined us. I'm not mad at you. So I'm telling you, man, it's just the world keeps changing. I'm trying to just get some good fights in before I got to do nothing but this talk boxing, elevate other fighters, be analytical, maybe take your job one day. Who knows what the future holds? But at the end of the day, man, there's a whole big world of boxing still out there, man. And I think there's some fun fights to be had, and I'm looking forward to starting to negotiate for these things when I get back from vacation in July.
Facts. Do you like the matchup though with Tank and Floyd Schofield? Is that a competitive fight?
I have to look into it, man. I'm not. This one flew completely under my radar, completely. You know, didn't pop up on no algorithms or nothing. I had no clue what was going on with Tank. Um, I didn't know we was gonna see him till next. I didn't know. Yeah, barely knew the man still existed, bro. He's been off the scene, and it's showing me that that's just how this world is, man. When we don't see you, we don't even believe in you. These TikTok attention spans these days, bro. They need to see you every 5 to 10 seconds, or you don't exist out here, bro. So, um, you know, but luckily, his status is still what it is, and it ain't gonna change. But it don't matter, man. Let Tank fight anybody, bro. Let Tank fight anybody. Let's just get him back in action, and then put on some kind of show, and let that be the new, pinnacle shift. And you do something, and then you do something bigger from there. I think there's a lot of good fights, like you said, in the lightweight division. I've seen a lot of different talent, and some young bloods and some unfamiliar names, but they're making some statements, and they seem to have some good hands. And Tank's been very inactive. We're not sure, what kind of killer we're gonna get, what kind of performance that we're gonna get. But he's very tactical, and he has his strategies, and he brings those heavy hands. So we'll see, man. Tank's one of the fighters that I actually enjoy watching, though. So um, I'll probably do my best to tune in. Does that have a date?
No, it doesn't. They just mandated, and they're gonna be having. I think it's about like 25 days left until it goes into purse bid.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see.
But a lot of
We'll
people
see
looking
what
at it
happens.
as like, hey, is that like a good like tune up to come back to boxing type of deal? Due to the kid is undefeated, young, but in the same time, it's like
Yeah, you gotta every once in a while you gotta do that. You know what I mean? It's not easy to just stay running at the top, It's like sometimes you need to, like you training in the mountains, you at the top, you in Mount Everest, you gotta come down to base camp and breathe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta come off that mountain a little bit, breathe, and then reestablish yourself again. Like, you know, it's it's like if you have like a every once in a while when you go out to eat, baby, you don't just have nothing but main courses. You got to have a few appetizers here and there, baby. You know, you know, you can always have a nice good steak and lobster and whatever you want for your main course, but it never hurts if there's an that's why it's called an appetizer because it can be appetizing. So it's like let's just nibble on this, give the people something, and then from there we can always pop out a main course. So
so you're expecting
you,
a highlight reel,
I mean, yeah, just do you, man. Reestablish yourself. Remind the people. Like I did against Brock Jarvis.
right? Second
Was
round, second round KO was that
third round,
third
third
round?
round.
Third round.
Yeah, like I did against Brock Jarvis. Went over there, showcased my skills and talent, had a lot of fun, had a good camp, and unfortunately, I was supposed to fight Fundora last year, and then I could have had another fight this year. I wanted more activity, which is why this year, because I'm not getting no younger. Like I'm stepping back in the ring this year, and any good fight they put in front of me, any division, I'm most likely just gonna sign the thing, man. Because the most important thing is that I fight now, and then I fight sometime towards the end of the first quarter of next year, and we get this ball rolling with activity, man. I didn't. Well, sometimes when you're very successful, you
Mhm.
don't understand. Um, you don't really feel the eagerness to do more, right? But that lack of activity was one of the worst things, just staying active. Like, even if it wasn't at the highest level or whatever, like just being active would have been way more beneficial for my overall career. And I wouldn't be struggling for fights and status and things like that I am now. But, you know, it's okay. It's a game, and I can play with any hand that I'm dealt with. And this is the hand that I'm dealt with, baby. Just watch what I do next.
Getting into this super chat here, Keith, please break down Haney versus Keyshawn.
Haney, Keyshawn. See, is he hasn't moved up to 47 yet, though, has he?
No, he just calls out Devin Haney a lot.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these
And
lightweights,
he
they're
he
just
he doesn't like
stubborn.
to make weight too in his last statements and his last outing with I think he almost missed weight.
Yeah, uh, there's a lot of talent, man. I mean, I'm not a firm believer. Like after his, you know, disputable loss or whatever is his non-loss non-victory to Ryan Garcia. Like the pedigree that he's winning against doesn't impress me. I know there's some talented fighters, people who got faster hands, better footwork, stronger punches, better ring IQ, and just it's different. It's different when you fighting somebody who's really on your level, and the way that you adjust and the way that the game plans that you execute and things of that nature. So, you know, yeah, I'm not a firm believer of Haney being, I mean, the welterweight division might not be the most stacked right now, but I don't see him dominating. And I think there's plenty of, yeah, a lightweight can just jump up and potentially reestablish themselves as a welterweight and run through the division. I mean, Floyd was a lightweight who ran through 147. Pacquiao was a lightweight that ran through 147. And Haney's trying to be a lightweight that's going to run through 147. I just don't see him accomplishing it. That's my thing. I don't see him accomplishing it.
The Butcher, thank you for the 5 piece. Shout out to One Time. You still one of our favorite True Warrior wins. Win or lose or draw. You always give us a show.
That's what it's about, man. I mean, that's my motto too, baby. I come out here to perform and just to put on great fights, great action, entertaining battles in the ring. So I want to get back at it. I want to get back at it this year. Something entertaining, and look even better.
Ty, thank you for the 5 piece. Ayo, why Keith look like he's still recovering from the whooping Fundora gave him a couple months ago?
I got 4 hours of sleep last night. That was, that was me. That was me.
Ty, thank you for the 2 piece. Huge one time fan. I think the layoff hurt.
I mean, just the kickback on the fight. I went through two camps to fight one dude, bro.
You
Like
did?
again, bro.
Yeah.
Like
He-
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of being tired. I know I only got 4 hours of sleep. I'm tired of being tired. I got espresso just to keep me up tonight. But you know, I'm not gonna worry about all that, man. Once we get back in the US, we're just gonna get back to the drawing board and just make anything happen, man. Anything happen, man. It's just boxing. We're just gonna do it, and I'm just gonna push for some great fights before I hang up these gloves. Because I know what it's been my dream to hit it to 40. I'll be 38 at the end of the year. You know, so you know, I mean, to potentially see me 3 to 5 more times. That's what I'm looking at in life, man. That's real. That's realism. 3 to 5 more performances in life, but I want to make the best of it, man. And I don't mind. I don't mind doing it. Run it. Run it. Run it. And what it is what it is. What happens is what happens. So yeah, man. We'll see.
Low key D. Thank you for the 5 piece. Hey Thurman, I can tell you versus Boots slash Virgil would have been a fight to the death. Upset alert.
I mean, these are fights that still gonna be made. I just said it, baby. Give me a good 3, give me a good 5. I mean, because 5 will get me to 40. I know that. So let's do it. I want to make it to the 4-0. There's just a day you cannot fight again. You're done. And right now, I'm not done. We still trying to have some fun, man. You know, I'm not worried about what happens to this face. I got a wife and kids. She married to me, boy. She we locked that up. We tied the knot, and we got a beautiful family, baby. And whatever happens to this, she's stuck with it. I was already not a pretty brother, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how I got lucky with this one, you know. And she married this gap tooth brother and everything. So it is what it is, man. Unibrow having, it is what it is, man. God made me this way. God did. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it because I believe that there's some fights to be made, but people just gotta want it. They want Thurman, they want that name, they want Thurman on the resume. Run it, run it. I got beat up, man. I got beat up, man. I'm broken goods, man. Just put it together. I'm not a scary guy. There's nothing scary about me. I promise. There's nothing scary.
KT Blicky, thank you for the two-piece. Thurman would have whooped Xander for sure.
Oh yeah, my coach was saying that um on fight week because for some reason he was watching some tape. He was like, this new champion, man. He said, Thurman, your style and like you'll get him. You'll get this guy. You'll get this guy. So that's why I believe in Boots. My coach believes that he's he's not really the type of champion. It's great to be champion, but there's degrees of champions. Champions that are going to hold it down as champion for the next 5 years. That's the type of champion that I think champions should want to be. That's the type of champions should strive to be. Now, there's nothing. It's already so hard to just be a champion. That's why we love Inoue. That's why we respect Inoue. That's why we love Tank Davis and you know people like Canelo and Bud Crawford, and we just you know as Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. Like when you can be champion for 5 6 years, I held it down. I held it down for a duration of time. So it's just different. Besides just being champion, winning, having two to three title defenses, and then the belt is stripped. So nothing wrong with it. This is a tough game, man. That's the problem. You're champion of the world. It's not a team sport. It's not WWE. There's no tag ins, tag outs. No, nothing's happening, man. It's you versus the world. So
This is a good question here. How you feel fighting on the undercard, not a main event? I mean, we see that PBC has been doing all pay-per-view events,
mhm.
and they're kind of stacking the card up now, Keith, right? Because you see Turkey
Right.
stacking up his cards, everyone else. So do you feel like that's like how do you feel about that? And yeah,
What did I tell you? Fit me in where I get in. I
right.
get in where I fit in. You know what I'm saying? Give me a fight, give me a contract, give me a money bag to feed my wife and my children, and pay for private school and things of that nature, baby. We good. We good. No problem. You know what I'm saying? What do you want? Huh? I could be the opening bout, and then I could be the commentator for the main event by the end of the night. What do you want? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Okay. I get in where I fit in, man. It just so happens that PBC enjoys a Thurman main event card, and they've allowed me to they utilized my ability to represent PBC. They love the way that I represent them, and the way that I help promote, and but depending on what style of fight I have next later on this year, if it's not a Charlo, if it's not Haney like we were pre-discussing and things of this nature, then easy, just Thurman's coming back. Thurman's has his return from the Fundora fight. Here on the co-main event is Keith one time Thurman, and he's on his comeback. He had a tough one, a rough one, but he's striving. He has strong opinions. He wasn't really happy about the last performance. He wasn't happy with the stoppage at all and how the referee called it. He's here to make a statement. Okay. Look, I hear it already. I hear it. I don't got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, main event, Thurman, you know, Thurman Charlo. Come on, man.
You're saying
That's
that a lot,
another.
Thurman. You're saying that a lot. Have you been getting some
Huh?
calls? Have you been getting some phone calls? Is that a name you've been hearing?
No, the fans, bro. The fans been saying it. I've been on the road. They said, "Hey, man, you can still put this fight together. You can still put that fight together." Because they just like
I like it.
people that know PBC's roster.
Right.
They know PBC's roster, and look, Charlo's never been beaten at 154. And even though it's a non-title match, the names are big enough to have that banner.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. I said it at the press conference, bro. It's Thurman versus everybody.
Hmm.
Dude, what did they just say? It wasn't Virgil, right? Virgil versus Keith, one time Thurman. Boots Ennis versus Thurman. Thurman versus Charlo. Thurman versus Connor Ben. Ryan Garcia. Like Thurman versus Tank Davis. Like what? Like Put the name Thurman next to
Woo.
everybody. All the bodies, just not the nobodies. Okay? You even when you put Thurman next to a nobody, I turn it into something. I turn nothing into something. Okay? That's what I did. That's what I did in Australia. People were like, no, it's not that big a fight. Soon as I started hyping it up, man, y'all got on it. Y'all love the videos. You love the streams. You love me in his face. Speak with your chest, son. Speak with your chest. Huh? What I used to say, what was
Don't duck me,
you
son.
better not duck me, son. What I said to Polly, man. There's people who still quote the line. Okay, that thing is
You
older
see
than
it in the
people's
comments.
children.
You see it in the comments.
Huh?
You
You
see it in the
better not
comments.
duck me. You better not duck me, son. And I saw a few comments, man. Thurman ain't never ducked nobody. You want to know if I ducked Bud or I ducked anybody? I got one phone call for Bud in life. I already got the phone call for Pacquiao. I'm not fighting Bud when I'm about to fight Pacquiao. That's not ducking nobody, bro. You can only take one fight at a time. And then I never got the Bud fight again. Never got the phone call. And when Top Rank said I asked for $10 million, never did. Never did. I don't quote what I want to get paid. You tell me what you're gonna pay me. So if he said that as a little scapegoat, declaring I'm overpricing myself, I never put a price on myself. You tell me how much you're gonna pay for this head, how much you're gonna pay for this action. You know, I'm not worried about it, man. There's gonna be a number. You can tell me. I can either just like it or not like it. I can grit my teeth and eventually either I'll fight or I'll not fight. But that choice is on me. So when you say that I said something, then you already said a lie, man. I never outpriced myself out of any fight in life, man. Not even the Pacquiao fight, you know. I, I wanted a certain number for that. They said, Keith, this is what we got for you. Otherwise, we're going to give it to Danny Garcia. That's what they told me on the phone. They said, you can take this number or we're going to give it to Danny Garcia. I said, well, I'll take the number, sir. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take the fight. you know, I mean, I'm the yes man out here, man. That's why I say it's Thurman versus everybody, man. It's never been hard to make a Thurman fight. You know, it's
You
never
men-
been hard.
you mentioned Crawford. You think he really is gonna fully retire? I mean, I know he announced it, but like when we see Turkey's, videos of putting Crawford into like the rehab and what just happened in Egypt. I mean, it makes you think. Like is this Canelo Crawford rematch happen? What do you think?
I mean, he seems very content in life, bro.
Right.
He seems very content, you know. Uh it's all on him, man. It's all on him. It's his choice, you know. That's what I try to explain to people, bro. You think we can make some fights, right? Like, oh, they fighters. Oh, just make this fight. Just bro, you actually can't make fighters fight. Hey, hey, let me teach you something. You actually can't make fighters fight. Well, how do fighters fight then, Keith? Well, thank you for asking. Okay, fighters have to want to fight. You don't make fighters fight. And when you get to a certain place in life, when you content in life, guess what? Even the money bag ain't gonna make you fight, bro.
Mm,
Ask Andre Ward. Go ask Andre Ward. Why did he retire? Why? That man could have fought anybody. That man was still relevant. Why did
yeah.
he retire?
You wanted to retire boxing.
Sometimes
He
you
didn't
get,
want boxing to
sometimes you
retire
get
him.
to a place where the money bag ain't even going to be the one to get you in the ring no more. None of it matters no more. You
Yeah.
said, you know what? I've done enough. The day you say that to yourself, I've done enough, it's a pretty simple sentence. It pretty much means the man's done enough, you know? And from here on out, you just live in the glory of what you did. And you let people remember the name and keep putting the respect on the name. When they remember the name, they're gonna have to respect the name from what you did, you know. So he might just be in that stage. That might be where he's at in life. I ain't mad at the man.
Right. Do you feel like this past weekend, do you feel like boxing could have possibly took a major hit if because they were talking about, the Usyk fight being a robbery because of the stoppage, premature stoppage, the guy was winning the fight. I mean, did you check out that?
I heard the news and I saw something posted by Coopinger, but yeah, I didn't do my due diligence because I just been out here with the fam. So that looks like something that I need to go back and watch. But it also sounds like something I ain't even gonna want to watch. Another premature stoppage, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, you know, it's like it's just let people let like can we just let fighters finish fights?
Mm.
Can we do that? Can we do that like for the rest of the year? All right? Can we make a vow in boxing? Can we make a boxing vow? Let fighters finish fights. Okay. Someone made a comment out here that Thurman just got his head boxed off or whatever, man. Like, so what, bro? So what, bro? Run it. Run it. I didn't. That dude did not stop me, bro. I wanted more smoke, bro. I'll take more punches, homie. Go watch the film, bro. Tell me which punch he landed in the last 20 seconds. He threw 25 punches, bro. He did not land one. That was arm, glove, shoulder, miss, glove. Like, bro, what one on the nose maybe like one jab or something, bro. Like nothing got through. Nothing got through. Y'all don't even know how to like y'all don't even understand boxing. Boxing means you have to score a blow. Okay, you don't just throw a blow and that's a blow. Okay, you have to land the blow. This takes something that not all fighters have. Floyd Mayweather had it. It's called accuracy. Okay. It's called accuracy. It's called landing the shot, not throwing the shot, not touching the person on some level. That's not the same, bro. This is not a scoring blow. This is not a scoring blow. This is not a scoring blow. This is a scoring blow. This is a scoring blow. This is a scoring boom, 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 boom. You gotta land, bro. You gotta land, you know. I don't care how my face look, you know. It's them small gloves, baby. We in like you hit yourself, you bruise up. I'm a light-skinned brother. I'm a light skinned, just like my man's right here. You slap him, he gonna bruise up quick. Promise. Promise. Okay? I mean, shoot, his girl can slap him and leave him a black eye. I promise you. Okay? So it is what it is, man. I'm never even stressing that stuff, bro. Like, if you gonna get me, like my whole life, no one took me out. So you're gonna take me out. Let me be the one to say, yo, I'm done. Like I'm done. I quit. That's enough. He did this, or at least let him drop me. We never got to a drop. You didn't drop one time, but you stopped me. But you stopped me, bro. Like for real, bro. All y'all got like some pantyhose on or something, man. Y'all like, I don't know what you think this game is, bro. I do not know what you think this game is, man. But I'm about this life, man. I'm about this life. Knock me out, bro. Knock me out, bro. Take me out, man. Do that. Do it. You know what I'm saying? I've knocked out plenty men, many men. Like it is what it is, man. That was a bad. That was a. It just was not a good night of boxing, man. This is they cut the show. Do it, man. Let people see. Let people see Thurman being demolished. Let it happen. Okay. So for the rest of the year, can we let fighters finish fights, people? Please. Can we let fighters finish fights? Can we let the man in? Can we let men quit? Can we get that to that point? I made Mexicans quit, bro. I dropped him. He got up. He walked to his corner, took his mouthpiece out, said, "Man, we going back to Mexico." That little brother, forget him. We out. We out. Orlando Laura, my first fight. Adrian Broner was the headliner. We were in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, Orlando Laura, go back and watch it. That man quit. No referee made him quit. No referee said, "Are you okay, sir? Have you had enough?" No, that man, he decided he had enough. He decided he's ready for his payday. He gonna go home. He gonna take them pesos home. All right. You paying me no matter what. You stop me, you still paid me. Whatever. I got paid. Pay me, I'm out. I'm on vacay. I'm on vacay. I'm good. I'm recovering. I'm with fam. I'm still loved. I'm still loved. I got many fans. I'm still loved. They making murals in my city, baby. We still loved, man. There's nothing to be ashamed of, bro. We fighting for titles. We fighting the best in the world. There is no shame in this game, bro. Not when you do it at this level. You do it at this level, you don't have to have no shame. I'm 37. I'm not 27. I'm not 23. I'm not 24, bro. I'm mature out here, man. There's a different level of maturity. I do it every time I speak, every time I talk to you. You know, you might not have a real father figure. You might not know what it's like to take it, you know, to take an ass whooping and come back to the gym the next day. The next day. You know, that's how we test everybody. That's how we test everybody. I don't care what you do. I don't care how hard you work. I don't care what you look like on the heavy bag, what you look like on the mitts. I don't care how good you are. But when you coming up, there's always going to be that day where somebody you get in the ring with, oh, he going to get the best of you. He going to get the better of you. And that day, when somebody gets you, do we see you the following day or you take a day off? You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. No matter what happened to me, I show up daily, daily. That's how I got to where I'm at in life, man. You show up daily. Take it. On, bro. My sparring partners were Andre Berto, Chad Dawson, Winky Wright, Jeff Left Hook Lacey, Antoine Eccles, bro. You thought I was winning those sparring sessions? Shit. Bro, I was 14, 15, 16, just coming up, you know. The best lessons are the hard lessons. A lot of people don't want to go through them. And regardless you want to go through it or not, God gonna give you some tough lessons out here. But it's really them tough lessons that some way, somehow, they turn into all our blessings. All my tough lessons have become my blessings. So whatever lesson God wants me to learn with this Fundora fight, just watch what I do next. Anybody doubting Keith Thurman, just watch what I do next. 'Cause I'm gonna keep performing.
Commentators were saying, that they wanted to see you back in the ring, and that's why they stopped the fight, so you could live another day, type of deal.
Regardless, I'm gonna live another day. I
Right,
was never dropped, bro.
right.
I'm not dropped. You know, it's round six. The crowd was getting lit. Like, well, you
You
pulled the
saying,
plug.
yeah, you were saying
Like,
the fight was just warming up.
let me get dropped. Don't even count. All right, Thurman, you're beat up. You got dropped. We're waving it. I'm not even counting. I'm waving it. Like, I could be mad. Man, he didn't even count. Okay, but yeah, bro, like you got dropped, use this and that. Like, all right, yeah, yeah, that did happen, But that did not happen, bro. That's not the story. The story is they ended it. They cut it, you know? And I'm telling you, like there was little things you don't know what it's like to like sit there and be in the war zone and shots are firing and things aren't going your way, but you still in the battle. You still in the trenches, bro. And you still got ammunition. Okay. Like I just landed a good counter hook for the first time of the fight. I was seeing minute things. He was swinging and he was reaching and he was like he thought he was going to get me out of there, which they let him do, but I was there. I was there. So step to me again and keeps opening up like that. And you're literally, you're making fundamental mistakes. That's my only time to capitalize. My road to victory is only in the continuation of the fight. That's that's it. That's my only road to victory. And they took that away. So it is what it is, man. I mean, to me, he got extra credit. You stop Keith Thurman, like, but like you need to stop Keith Thurman. Like he gets that on his resume. You stop Keith Thurman. Like he ain't do that, bro. They just gave him that extra credit, man. I guess he is, he's a Harvard student, man. He get that extra credit. He been, he been putting in that time in the gym and that time in the books, and they just gave that boy that extra credit that day, man. It's life, man. It's life. You know, let's just do something. Let's do something again. Let's run it back with someone and let's do another fun fight. Cause it's Thurman versus everybody, man. Virgil, Charlo, Boots, everybody. I especially coming off of a loss, I'm gonna be motivated to work hard. I might have to change up my location for camps and just lock in a little bit. There's a lot of things that are debatable right now, but I'm not marinating on it too hard. I'm just trying to be out here, until July, and then we'll be making some decisions and seeing what, what we're being presented with. They made a comment. Tim Zoo's brother, the No Limit promotion, they made a comment that Nikita Zoo wants Thurman and stuff. Man, like I don't want that fight. But if that's the first contract I see and I don't see nothing else at the table, I'm gonna have to read the contract, you
Mm.
know.
They're
But
trying to warm
but
up
I'd rather
a Tim Zoo fight.
that's they can do whatever they want to do. I think
Just in
for
case if he
whatever
loses
reason,
to Spence.
You know, I think, we had a good time. We had a nice promotion out there. Um, they had a fun time. I'm very easy to work with. They just really enjoyed working with me. They know what type of professional I am. And it's good. It's good for them to, bring this type of talent into the country. I mean, they're bringing Spence, right? Isn't the fight in Australia?
Yep.
So I think on a promotional level, they just are trying to show something that like we can do this. We can bring international, big names from the US, and you know, so whether it's Tim Zoo and Nikita Zoo, they got to use that Zoo family name out there. They know that's why it's called promoting, baby. You can't be mad at how they're doing it in their swimming pool over there. No Limit puts on a good show. They do some decent matchmaking and stuff, and so yeah, they're trying to prove that sometimes they can do these big fights. They want to be that guy in Australia. I already know. I talked to the promoters and everything. So yeah, they have a vision. And so use Spence, bring out Thurman for a second time. These things might be what's cooking, obviously, up in there, and they have their relationship with PBC.
Hmm.
So I think it'll probably be aired in the US. So I think they're going to be fighting daytime. I think they're going to be fighting Sunday, so that it's Saturday night. They have different ways of making it all happen. On a to be have success on an international level.
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing over there, man, and they put on a good show, man. I enjoyed working with them, and if the contract was sent, I'm gonna have to read it. And I just want them to stay active, and that's what's most important. For me, but I also would like some big names, but these you can't force people to fight you, man. These people gonna want Thurman on their resume. So whoever wants Thurman on the resume, send me a contract. September, October. Let's make it happen.
Keith, last minute words to all your fans. Really appreciate all the time that you gave me as well.
Yeah, all good, man. I'm shoot. This these girls might be knocked out. And if not, I'm gonna have to put them to bed soon, man. But yeah, man. Just thank you for all the love and support, man. It was unfortunate, the slow start that I had. I just really wanted to try to make an upset of the night and just continue to give you an entertaining fight, even if I had to take more shots to make it all happen. But there's some good fights to be made. I think the Thurman name, what, two losses, there's a legend and a giant. Like who beats Keith Thurman? A legend and a giant, So it is what it is, man. But thank you for all the love. You know, it just it's great, man. It's great. I know that we can do more out here, man. And I just want to get back in the ring and feel that strength, feel that speed, feel that power again, and put some respect back on the name, man. You win some, you lose some, but we at the top. We at the top. I fight the best in the world, man. So Virgil, anybody, bro. I fight the best in the world. So let's make it happen. Thank you for your time, man. It's been fun. I'm tired. I don't even know. Is it midnight, bro? Like I'm feeling super tired right now, bro. I think it's midnight over here, man. Like, so I'm about to go pass out. That's why y'all thinking like, oh, Thurman weak, Thurman, like, bro, y'all don't even know what time it is, man. I'm on the other side of the country. I'm on the other side of the country, man. It's been a long day. I gotta wake up and do a 5 hour road trip with the fam, man. So salute to everybody, man. Salute. And I'll be tuning in to some of these fights that we talked about. What was the fight with the upset? What was the heavyweight fight?
Oh yeah, that was Rico versus Usyk.
The Usyk Rico. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to go recap on that one. So some of the next interviews, I got some better insight, man. But
You
yeah,
already
man,
know.
thanks for having me on the show, man. And we'll have some exciting stuff to talk about when I'm back in the USA.
Can't
One
wait,
love,
man.
everyone.
Stay blessed, brother. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys go out your way, follow Keith Thurman on all social media. It's the one time of the one time. Really appreciate you guys for tapping in. We have 300 people on the live. Make sure you hit that like button. It's free. I'm telling you, we're giving you guys some of the hottest interviews. So really appreciate you guys for all the support. Become a member. The link is actually pinned in the comments. So if you guys want to watch this whole episode without waiting for me to chop it daily, you guys can go and enjoy all the live content that the memberships offer. It's basically 2 hours of pure premium content with the one time. So make sure you guys check that out. I got plenty more interviews set up, and also a whole bunch of lives for the people that do want to become members. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. Once again, hit that like button. It's totally free. And once again, appreciate you guys for tapping in. I'll be back a little bit later on. And you already know. Peace.